What is up, everybody? Happy today's Wednesday, but I didn't end up posting this video until today. I filmed a whole bunch yesterday, but not sure what happened. But my videos got corrupted, unfortunately. So I don't have the me building or starting this Chrome extension. So today I'm going to do a quick summary of what I did yesterday, showcase kind of the environment setup I did, and also the very barebone extension that I built, just to kind of show you my progress, I guess, at this time. So today's kind of day 5, but I haven't really coded yet today. So I'll do some more coding today, and then I'll do another summary tomorrow, I guess. Anyway, let's get started. So like I said, I'm building a Chrome extension in addition to um, the app that I'm making, right? So I wanted to do a few things. So number one, you'll be able to log in to your account through Google onto the Elemental server. So you can upload stuff to the server, that kind of stuff. And then also, like I mentioned, there's this cool screenshot functionality. I don't think Chrome has it, but Firefox definitely has it. So let's have a look. 10 ideas. So this is just another site of mine, which I'm just going to use for demo purposes. Oh, okay, wait. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is kind of the UI that, or the kind of the UX that I want to capture in my app, in my extension, sorry. So it's going to allow you to kind of scroll around the page and select something in specific, or you can capture the whole page, which is what this is doing. So capture the window, capture the whole page, or capture like a little element, and then you can kind of crop the element a little bit if you want. And then the idea is that you can upload it here, maybe add some tags to it. So it's just super easy to take a photo, upload it to the server, and then when you start designing, you'll have all these little captures that you've saved over time, and that's kind of the premise. And so this is what the Chrome extension is doing. It's going to capture. It's going to let you do that capturing. And so I'll give you a quick demo of what I did. So it's not built into the extension yet, but I've kind of got the basic selecting going on here. So this is just a test website that I've got. And I think today I'll integrate that with the extension itself. But you can see here that as I scroll around stuff, I can kind of select it. And then all of these have click events. And then I'll work on doing the actual screenshot of that today, which would be cool. And I'll show you something interesting, because one thing that is a little tricky to do is getting this UI is fine, but making it click on things like a link. So this is a link or a button, or I don't know, even if the developer has put a click event on an element, how do you override that? So this is what my extension has to do, because if you're in this mode, you won't be able to click on buttons. And so there's a little trick you have to do for that. So I'll show you that afterwards in a bit. But yeah, so I'll show you my setup first of all, which is going to be the setup of the Chrome extension. So I decided to do something cool, and that's use the same package manager. I don't know, same kind of concept as the server. So I mentioned that in my server there's a source folder, and I'm using Parcel to bundle all the source stuff, and then I'm interacting that with Django. So I basically brought that whole front end stuff into the Chrome extension, so I can build a Chrome extension in the same way. So I'm not using any, but I mean it's using the same technology, which is really cool. So I'll show you. Well, it's pretty simple. So it's using Parcel Bundler also again, and so that lets me hook up a whole bunch of stuff. As I mentioned in my first video, mainly I can use Tailwinds, I can integrate TypeScript, and do a whole bunch of stuff like really easily, even jQuery, I don't know, things like that. And it's going to bundle all the code for me. And so Parcel is just like super nice to use. I've been loving it so far. And then, yeah, so the only difference with this project is that instead of exporting a single kind of file, so my other app is exporting like a single JS file, right, and a single index, CSS file, and so then I can use that in Django. But a Chrome extension is a little different because it's not a web page. It has different moving parts which do have to be separate. So I've built some scripts to do that. So I've got like, I mean, it's not complicated, but it's just doing the parcel and then exporting like specific files here. And so I'll try and explain what those files are. So a Chrome extension has a number of parts, most of which are optional. But I'm going to use 4 different pages. So when you have the Chrome extension, you have like, you have the kind of front end thing. So when you log onto a website, you can get the Chrome extension to inject what's called a content script. And so this is literally injecting JavaScript or CSS or other stuff into the website. And so in the example here, the script that's allowing me to select here, that will actually be injected into the web page that the user's on. So you can interact with the DOM and all that stuff. And then you have a second thing. So you got like the browser part, which is called a background script. And so this is going to be interacting with kind of the lower level browser APIs. So in the example of Chrome, sorry, I really need to fix this mic. Hopefully that's okay. So in the example of Chrome, the background script is, you can see here, there's a background page. And that's kind of allowing you to do, like I said, kind of calls to the browser. So my case specifically is taking screenshots. So you don't get the screenshot functionality in a front-end script like JavaScript. It's a Chrome level API. So you got to do a call from the front end and stick it and call it to the background script. And the background script can actually run the Chrome API asynchronously, take the image that you want, and then do stuff with it. And so that's what the background script is doing. And then there are 2 other pages. So you got a pop-up page. So when you click on an extension, for example, uMatrix, it creates this little pop-up UI. Same with other extensions like uBlock or something. So there's a little pop-up screen there. And finally, there's like an options page. So when you go into an extension, they have custom settings pages or option pages or whatever they want. So there's kind of like an options page there. So that's 4 different things that I want to do. And so I have to create a script for each of these. And so that's what I'm doing here. It's when I build, it's going to build all those things. And I've done it so it's not creating the content hash at the end. And I don't need the source maps for now. And then when I'm watching, or when I run the app as a dev, when I'm developing, I can use parcel.watch instead of build. And that's really cool because it's going to update all the source files live when they change. And so it's literally going to update this dist folder, which is where all the source code is going. And that's really cool because I can then just like type some script or like type some code, hit save, and then I can just hit the refresh here on Chrome, and then the extension reloads automatically. So it's much easier than I think before. I was like loading unpacked extension a lot, or maybe I wasn't doing that, but I don't know. It was just a pain before to do that. So it's really nice. It's a really nice setup. So I've just got some basic scripts here. So for example, if I open the background page, you can see my hello background script is getting called up here. And yeah, that's nothing interesting going on. I think I've got a little pop-up going, hello pop-up. So obviously I haven't implemented anything yet, but I'll be doing that today and tomorrow, which would be cool. But the most interesting bit is the content script. So I'm not injecting it into the web page yet, although it should work. But I'm using a little live server. So I've just got a little live HTML setup here, which is running this script here. And so I can run this stuff on a local website instead of having to like update the extension each time I update. And so the way that works is essentially I'm using jQuery here, so that's just selecting the body, and then I'm just doing 2 mouse events, so mouse over and mouse out. And so that's creating a single hover event or mouse movement event, and then the mouse over event here updates every time you move over a small element or a child element, sorry. So in the case of like this text or these little texts, it re-updates that single mouse over event. And so then I can use e.target or event.target, and that's going to get the highest level kind of element. And then I can just add a hover class or remove the hover class. That's what I'm doing, pretty easy. And then here I'm using Tailwinds, so I'm using border dashed and stuff like that. But you notice that I'm putting a prefix here. So because it's injecting CSS into live web pages, right? It actually interacts with the same CSS. But the problem with that is that you can have like conflicting names. So if a website developer sets a certain CSS class, my classes will override theirs or theirs will override mine. So especially when I'm using a framework like Tailwinds, border for or border dash, these could be overridden by developers with their Tailwind, like their own Tailwind config. And so I don't want to mess up their stuff. I don't want them to mess up my stuff. So I've created this little prefix, and that's just a really easy prefix on the Tailwinds config here. All right, so I want to walk you through quickly what I have to do about the button. So I said I'll talk to you about that. And it's a little bit tricky, but not too bad. So like I was talking about, we have this single click event that happens as you move around the screen, right? But in order to click on buttons or links or custom click events that people have made, we have to do a bit of hackery in order to override that click event without breaking the page. And so I've got these 2 little TypeScript extensions. So inject click and then unject click or whatever. And what they're doing is that they're using this little property called, it's kind of a property on jQuery objects called underscore data. And you can use this code to sort of access all the events of a element, a specific element. And so if you get the click events here, it's going to list out all the click events. And so then you can inject your own click event as the first one. And so that means when you click on an element, it's going to run your one first. And then in this case, my injected click function here. And then it's going to do ePrevent default. So it's going to stop future events running. So in the case of a button, this is well, let's see if I turn this off, yeah. My page refreshes, and now when I click, it changed the URL to this guy. Maybe it's not obvious, but I'll try again. So URL is empty, I come in here, and then I click. And then it's updated the thing. But if I put prevent default back on, script reloads. So it's empty again. And then I click on the event, on the button, or the link, and I've successfully injected this click. So what's happening is as you move around the web page, I'm running this little click event, this injection, uninjection thing. And so it allows me to kind of perform that process, which is what I need. But it does it in a way, because I'm uninjecting them when I leave, it's keeping the web page light. And so when I built this originally a while back, I built something similar a while back, and the problem I had was that I was injecting all of these click events onto all these elements. And after a few minutes of browsing on a website, let's say it's a high use site of yours, and then you click, the whole page would just freeze because it's running like 1,000 click events, or it's just you can really overload the browser. So when you're doing Chrome extensions that are really interacting with the page, you've got to be quite careful to ensure that you're doing it safely and in a performant way. So that's what I'm doing here. So yeah, that's about covers what I've done today. Well, what I did yesterday, sorry. I'm going to keep working on the extension. So I think the main thing is getting screenshots working, and then I can create that crop UI, and then also the full screen kind of capturing all of the, like if it's a long landing page, how do you capture the whole thing like that? So I'll do that, and then I'll probably post a summary tomorrow. So yeah, until then, see you guys later.